Senne Lammens hasn't just replaced the goalkeeper, he's brought a confidence back to the defence and also the fan base. But the question that I've got for everyone out there today, is Senne Lammens the most important signing today under Ruben Amorim? We're going to give our views on that later on in the video, so stick with us. But we want to know your opinions in the live chat today. And if you are joining us later on, make sure you get involved in that comment section and smash that like button. Thoughts on Senne Lammens and his start to life at Manchester United?
Well, I have to look back first. I think we're very, very lucky. In my opinion, Lammens wasn't going to be signed, but Manchester United, they were forced to act. After Onana gave an absolutely shocking performance against Grimsby, they had no choice. I think Ruben Amorim was prepared to keep him and work on him, but the explosion by the fan base and the reality within inside the club that Onana just was not the fit for Manchester United.
Yeah, you've seen the scenes at full time, in particular away at Anfield last weekend, and the players all going over to Lammens, all hugging each other, but they all made that extra effort to go over to him. So you can see, and you can see it clearly, he's breeding a confidence, not just to the defence, really, the team as a unit.
Yeah, I think what it is, it's like when someone's like bringing calmness, it's contagious. And I think they're overjoyed. Maybe not overjoyed, but like relaxed with the goalkeeper. Yeah. There's no panic or anything. They know they've got an experienced goalkeeper, what is prepared to put his body on the line, works well with all the other players, gets the right things correct. And that's what I've seen in the first two games. Yes, it's early with him, but all the signs are there that there's a goalkeeper. And if he's bringing the calm in the side, everyone else is calm, and you see it with your own eyes.
Yeah, 23 years old, got him from Royal Antwerp, 6'4" he is, so he's definitely got that commanding presence that you need in the box, which we really lacked, let's be honest with ourselves, under Onana and Bayinde. And you see him more as a long-term project as well, more so than, let's say, a stopgap with a goalkeeper who's like 30 plus.
Well, I look at it and I say, it's funny when you look back. United were prepared to keep Onana for different reasons. They even gave out statements saying he's the number one goalkeeper. Amorim was happy with him. But then you look at this goalkeeper now and his performances and you say to yourself, Onana, a goalkeeper, Manchester United standard? Certainly not. So for me, what a turnaround, what a calmness. I'm just so happy. Because I feel...
Well, what he's done, Lammens, in my view, a lot of comments that come through on yesterday's video, and I don't think we give him enough airtime, and that's why we're doing today's video. But it does actually see that he's changed the mood, though, amongst the fan base, where we can relax a little bit more once the opposition are in and around our box from 25 or 30 yards out. And it's something that Onana wasn't doing, commanding his box. He wasn't a goalkeeper. He was more like an outfield player who's been given the jersey and said, look, there's your gloves, go in net.
Yeah, well, you talk about giving Lammens more airtime on here. And the truth is, and I think it is amongst most Manchester United fans, they knew nothing about him. They knew nothing about him. I didn't know anything about him. All I could do was go on stats. I'd never seen him perform at anything. He'd never come across my eye contact. Never heard anyone talking about him or anything. So to find a goalkeeper in such a short space of time, because right through the summer, it was clear we was keeping Onana. And even though he got the injury, they even stuck with him. So for me, I knew nothing about him. So it's good to talk about him. And it's good that he's had two games where he's performed well.
Just going into the chat, get a couple of comments ringed off. Breezy12 says, if the long ball tactic is what's got us the wins, then I'm all for it. Played his first two games in arguably the two hardest arenas, and he's done well. Let's get behind him. Stephanie says, Lammens looks a real presence between the sticks and gives his defenders confidence, unlike the previous occupants. Distribution is overrated.
I think any goalkeeper what comes into Manchester United, you're going to worry about nerves and everything else like that. We've seen it if you go back you know, to David De Gea, for instance. And we've had plenty of goalkeepers where they've come in and it's just been a nightmare at the beginning. So you look at Lammens, no worries with him, no worries at all. So that is a good thing going forward, that he's got the confidence. I was just a bit surprised that they didn't introduce him at first. Yes, there's been talk about why he wasn't starting and all that. But at the time, I thought he should have come straight in because I did not just buy into what was in goal anyway.
Yeah, when you are playing the high line, which we have seen Ruben Amorim do in the likes of the games with Brentford, Man City, he then should also basically remove that danger with the space in behind him and being proactive off his line as well. And it does seem like that sort of keeper for me.
Yeah, well, he's got a no-nonsense approach. That's how I look at him. You know, he's got 2 feet. He uses it well. He knows what to do. He's been told that's the job. Everyone's working together and he's part of the team and he's fitted in that team. He's got a physical dominance in that 6-yard box. That's how I see it. I've seen him going for the ball. He doesn't seem to get pushed off so easily. And I just look at it from the corners. He just seems unfazed. Yeah. And that's what I like. When you look at what's gone for the last couple of years, from corners, we was terrible.
It does look like I say, it is very early days, not just in Lammens United's career, but all the signings that we made in the summer. But when you have... Well, when you do see him with the ball at his feet, whether he does go long more often than not in the 2 games that we've actually seen him, you see a bit more of a structure, though, within the team, especially in the back line, where they're not like in a bit of a chaos situation of, oh, should have dropped back, should have dropped wide, should have pushed further forward. It's like they're confident with him with the ball at his feet, so they can actually take up the positions that the manager wants them to. So we've got that structure then going forward.
Well, what it is, you've got a structure because what you see is the players hold the shape. That's what I see, and that's the good thing. You always seen before a bit of a panic and all that, and like what you would call, they were not trusting the goalkeeper, and we all knew that anyway. But they hold the shape and they don't collapse back like they used to. It's all, we know what we're doing. We move out together, we move back together, and it's just about holding the shape. And we never had a shape from corners, from defending or anything under Onana. He just did not give any confidence, whereas Lammens straight away has done it. And it's remarkable, really, that he came straight into the side and he just fits like a glove. It is remarkable for a goalkeeper to do that, because I was worried that would he have the confidence, would he have it? And I was just like praying that he had the confidence to come straight in and get stuck in. And he's done it, and the players have responded to him. And that's what you see most over the 2 games. You see the players responding to him, which is like unusual, to be honest.
I mean, there was a ball that went up in the air at Anfield. I can't remember whether it was the first half now or second half, but I actually thought he got ahead of the ball too much.
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember it as well, because I was like, oh, God. Yeah. And he actually had to arch his back in the air to grab it. But I actually thought that was the only moment I've seen over him where, you know, my toes have sort of curled up compared to what I was seeing last season under Onana and this season under Bayinde. But he looks like he's a safe pair of hands as well, like we've mentioned. He looks like someone who can command his box as well when threats are coming in from the corners or set pieces.
Well, that's the only time I worried. And I did say to you at the time, oh no, it looks like Onana's making a mistake. I said it to you at the time, but I was only joking because he recovered and that was good of him. But that was the only worry. But you're going to get a worry with the goalkeeper. And I'm not saying going forward he won't make a mistake. Every player makes mistakes, we know that. But what it is, it's all about confidence. And once you've got confidence in a team, they go on. And we're on a winning streak at the moment, and partly due to having a goalkeeper what's solid at the back.
Yeah, I'd definitely say he's more like a foundation signing more than a headline signing than the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo. But like I mentioned to you earlier on, do you think it's Ruben Amorim's most important signing to date here at Manchester United? We will get onto that shortly. Back in the game says, great to see United back to winning ways. 3 in a row against Brighton on Saturday. Thumbs up. It's going to be a tough one. I think we've got 1 win in 7 against Brighton, home and away, I think, which stretches back to 2022.
I know we've been beat 6 out of the 7, which is a diabolical diabolical stat. So for me, we're going in the right frame of mind. And I think looking at Ruben Amorim now, he must know how to take on Brighton and how to beat their press and how not to get overrun in the midfield. And like we go back to again, having the goalkeeper there, he'll be solid, and that's what you want.
Genghis Khan says, I like the way Senne Lammens trusts his woodwork to do its job. Cool customer.
He just watched them go by. He had no worries whatsoever. Listen, hitting the woodwork that many times, that's lucky. But then tough on Liverpool, but we've had it before. So I'm not going to worry about that. The post is there for a reason. It's to help the goalkeeper.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, definitely is that, to keep the ball out of the net. But you've got to look at the tactics, especially what's worked over the last couple of games where we've seen the wins against Sunderland and Liverpool going long from the goalkeeper. But the players like your Cunha, your Mount, your Mbeumo, your Sesko, I think they all deserve a big shout on why that's actually worked, because they're the ones who have put the work rate in and the aggressiveness to get them second and third balls and win them back. You know, you look at the comparisons of the players we had in them positions last season. It's a massive upgrade, and all the players are a big part of why it's worked in the last two games.
Well, when you look at all them players, and then you put in the question, like, was Lammens the most important signing of the summer? I think you look at Cunha, you look at Mbeumo, and like going forward, I think Sesko will be an important signing. But I think Lammens, when you put him in a bracket about signings, is he the most important? I think what it is, I think he might go down as Manchester United's one of the luckiest signings they've made for a long, long time. Because like I go back to, I don't think United, I think they had him in mind. They were talking to him, but they weren't pushing it. The season had already started and everything, and they never pushed it. I thought it had actually gone, the chance to sign him. So I think it will go down as Manchester United is one of the luckiest buys they actually made, and it's all down to a shocking performance at Grimsby by Onana.
Yeah, just going back into the chat. Fruston Jones from our members club. I like this one. Good afternoon to all supporters of the greatest ever football team. Dan Fenton's getting involved as well. Paul McInnes, Genghis Khan's back in. Belella from our members club is saying, big up, guys. Thanks for joining us and everyone out there. But I'm not too sure if you just said it. Out of the players that we did sign in the summer, who do you think is the most important? Is he the most important, Senne Lammens?
No, I'll stick to it for now. I will stick to it. I mean, he's only made 2 performances. Let's get it right. And, you know, he could dip. He could get better. Let's wait and see. 2 performances. I'm making no judgment on it. I just see it as the luckiest.
Andreas in the chat says the constant communication with the back line is nice to see. A mistake will happen, but let him grow. Praises for Lammens, but you've got to look at it as well. Like, let's state the obvious here: goals win your football matches. But we've not had a goalkeeper who will actually save us and win us points. I think Lammens will actually do that. I think he's worth this season already maybe 4 to 7 points, I think. Whereas you look at the goalkeepers in Bayinde this season, you're looking at Onana most often than not. Last season, they were losing us games. They were losing us points. So I think it's a massive input that he's going to have this season, Lammens. Yeah. Let's face it, we just needed a goalkeeper to come in this season, like I've mentioned many times before, who could do the basics in just catching a ball, being a goalkeeper and commanding his box. And it looks like we've got a steady pair of hands there with Lammens.
Yeah, what you want to see a goalkeeper save your games. Make sure that you keep the 3 points. Make sure you keep a point. Yeah. We've not really seen that from him at the moment. He's had 2 really good performances. United won the game against Liverpool because of a team performance and everything they all put in. So going forward, you want to sort of like judge Lammens in like, is he up there? Is he medium? So for me, he has to put in the performances where he saves United from losing a game or, you know, like from winning a game. It's just, you have to look at it down the line. I think it's too early. I think what you see is a goalkeeper what's changed the mood, because everything I see about him, everything I see about United players, every time I'm talking to United fans, the mood has completely changed. He's changed that because he's fitted in with this team and what they're all planning and wanting to do. And they want to work together and fight for Manchester United. And he's come straight in. And I can't argue with that. I think he looks a really good goalkeeper. And I just hope he goes on to prove that he is the difference between United winning and losing games.
Look, Ruben Amorim has thrown a few surprises in on a match day, not just this season, last season in terms of his team selections. Can we just discard now Bayinde in competition with Lammens? Is Lammens now stated and cemented as Manchester United's #1 this season?
Bayinde wasn't in competition with anyone. Bayinde was in there because he was the only one to put in there. Bayinde, at the end of the day, has made mistakes. And I mean, lots of mistakes. So for me, he was never going to be a Manchester United goalkeeper. And I was always baffled how people sort of said, get Bayinde in front of Onana. No, I never wanted Bayinde in goal long term for Manchester United. Short term, we've seen him when he was given chances. You and I, with my grandson, was down at Tottenham that night. And I remember it.
Yeah, from the corner.
And no, it was horrendous, right? It was horrendous. And we really give him pelters. Bayinde, and I've never had any faith in him, and I don't think the majority of the fan base ever had any faith in him. We've just struggled for goalkeepers, and it needed rectifying, and I think luckily we've got it right at this moment.
Vinny Mitchell, Cunha is the new Cantona. Love the fella. Absolute calmness under pressure. What did you think about Cunha? What do you think about him up to now in a Manchester United shirt? He's definitely something different that we've actually not got in other players in that squad. That's for the fact.
I've said it since Sunday. He improved as the game went on, and he really got a grip of that game. And then afterwards, when listening to him, I think he's just, I think he's something different. Absolutely different. Not in. I wouldn't go as far, but I do understand what he's saying there in the form of Cantona, the arrogance and all that. No, he's not arrogance because Cantona had the arrogance, right, which was fine. Everyone loved it. It was the right thing for him and the club at the time. But Cunha, no, I think he's. It's not arrogance. It's the other way. I think he feels blessed. Absolutely blessed that he's been given the opportunity and the chance to play for Man United.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, and I just listen to him and I think, what a nice fella. What a really nice fella.
I mean, to just see such a difference from a player as well. And especially them last, let's say, 20 minutes when Liverpool went to a 4-2-4 and they were throwing the kitchen sink at it. It was a player who we had on the pitch who wanted the ball, demanding it, and he was doing some really good stuff off it just to relieve some pressure from the actual defensive part.
Yeah, I think he'll just get better and better. But listen, if we're talking about the best signing of the summer, it has to be Mbeumo in my eyes. I think he's just improving. I just see improvement game after game with him. He had a poor game at Brentford, but hey, we can all have a poor game. But for me, I think the signing has to be Mbeumo. I think him and Ahmad, the way they work together, is excellent. And it's not just Ahmad he works with, it's the team. They look for him and that. And he's got a lot about his game as well. Scoring goals, getting in the box, his crosses, his passes and everything, his link-up play. I think Mbeumo at the moment is the player of the summer transfer window.
Yeah, and what I like about Mbeumo as well, it's not just his work rate going forward, it's going back as well, creating that partnership and a defensive work with Ahmad. And he's not like one of these flashy signings, with the ball at his feet. He does the basics right as well. He's not one of these who's constantly looking, let's say, trying to take on a defender. If he sees someone in a better position, he will release it straight away.
He's a team player.
That's it.
He's a team player. That's what it is. He's got the experience in the Premier League. He knows what it's all about. You don't just score goals because you're greedy. You score goals because you're a team player. So for me, Cunha, yes, I'd like to see him chip in with a few goals and that, but I don't think he's had the best of starts, but he's improving. And the Liverpool game, I think, is he's top notch now.
Yeah, it's going back into the chat. Stephanie Griffith keeping a tab on the likes and how many people are watching. Let's get us over that 100 likes mark while we're
1,000.
well, let's get us up to that 1,000 if you are watching this video later on. So keep smashing that like button and smash that like button for a win on Saturday against Brighton. Let's go for 3 wins in 3. Why not? Vinny Mitchell's come back just saying that he thinks Cunha loves the shirt, like you said. So for me, that's very important. And yeah, it's actually good to see, considering what we've been used to hearing and seeing, most importantly on the pitch, where you've been seeing players strolling around being greedy. But these players that we've actually brought in look like they are team players, but they've also got that quality what was desperately missing last season and other seasons.
Well, when you go back and you look at the history of Man United, people wanted to sign for Man United. Cunha and Mbeumo, they wanted to sign for Man United. I'm just using them two as an example, based on the players who wanted to get out there, who couldn't be bothered, who have now left the club. Cunha believes it's an honour, an absolute honour, to be offered the chance to play for Man United, and he's humble with it. And I think Mbeumo is exactly the same. So when you look at the players, you look at the goalkeeper, you look at signing Sesko, these players want to play for Manchester United and they feel it's an honour, and they understand what it's all about for us fans and everything, and they're going to give it all, and you can see they're going to give it all. And what you need is, back to the goalkeeper again, a bit of calmness, and it's contagious, and that's what we've got. And I think you've seen that. You've seen it in the faces. I always thought we was going to score another goal at Anfield, even when we went 1 down. But I did mention it yesterday, is how Amorim highlighted that once we went 1 down, that was the best aspects of the game, because we played it through. We didn't panic. We didn't worry. When we conceded a goal against Liverpool, he was always confident, and I think everyone else was confident.
Yeah, just going back into the chat, Finn from our members club says Cunha hasn't even got started yet, and let's hope so. And I do agree with you, and let's hope the whole team haven't got started yet, and let's hope they start going through the gears, because this actual positivity, especially this week now, I mean, that is contagious amongst the fan base, and let's hope they can keep it going with that game against Brighton on Saturday. And, you know, with Lammens there, you know, calmness over people just panicking as well, you know, with what we've been used to, especially last season. Listen, I mean, do you remember Anana last season here at Old Trafford against Brighton? I think that was the game, on the reports coming out that Amorim actually smashed one of the TVs up after it. I mean, there was 2 goals there that they scored. I mean, the mistakes from Anana in that game are absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, well, you know, you could go through lots of games in that, but that was a diabolical game. But I just look at this game and I say to myself, it's going to be tough. Now, would I at this moment take a draw? I'd take a 2-2 draw right now. I would. I'd take a 2-2 draw right now, knowing that we've got good enough to go to Forest and Tottenham and take 7 points out of the 3. But I still believe that we're going to beat them, because I think with them winning 6 out of 7 games, right, it's time now to turn it round. And I think this team is ready to turn it around. And I think the manager is ready to turn it around. I don't think he's afraid now to change things up at Old Trafford.
To be honest with you, he was to get 7 points out of the next 9 against the 3 teams we're up against, with Brighton, Forest and Spurs. I won't be disappointed at all with that. But I don't think we can look at a game, the next game, which is Brighton, and think, yeah, we can take a draw there, but go and get then 6 points against the next 2 teams. I think the next game is the most important. So we've got to get the wins in them games, because I don't think we can always hang our hat on what's going to happen with this Manchester United team. I mean, it's still early days yet. Let's not forget that. You know, 2 wins in 2, that's fantastic. But we need to start seeing a bit of a momentum here, and let's carry that on with the 3rd win against Brighton. Let's see where we end up after that, in particular, once that international break comes in November.
Yeah. Just to clarify, I didn't say we was going to draw, right? And that's what I wanted. I'd say I'd take it right now, knowing a draw against Brighton and that we win at Nottingham Forest and we win at Tottenham. No, I do believe we're going to win, because I think this is a different Manchester United, and I think Brighton will look at Manchester United in a different way. If you look at teams what come to Old Trafford last year, they had no fear. They had no fear. No one had any fear. All the talk, we even said it at the start, if you go back a month ago, no one had any fear of playing Manchester United, okay? It didn't seem as though anything had changed, but it's all changed now, and Brighton know that. So they will be coming and they will be slightly worried that Manchester United will take it to him and then put him to the sword.
I don't know about you, but look, it's always a massive game. It's the first fixture I look for when they release United at Anfield, but I actually think this is a bigger game. I think it's actually maybe a bigger test as well when you're looking at Liverpool's form now compared to Brighton as well. I mean, Danny Welbeck, he always comes back to haunt us at some point or another, doesn't he, when we've played him over the past few years. So it's going to be a really tough test. And a lot of doubts still exist out there. And I can understand that question marks on the manager or the players because they want to see us win games like this. Games against Liverpool over the years. We have pulled out a result, Man City's, etc. But it's these games that we've struggled against, your Brightons, your Bournemouths, your Brentfords, your Palaces, your Fulhams. So if you get 3 points here, 3 wins in a row, I think that's where you'll see a lot more confidence than getting back into the fan base then going forward.
There's always a doubt. It's early days yet. But if you're talking about big games and that, there's no bigger game for anybody, okay, who want to win things, okay, than going to Anfield. Yes, it's a big game because of what's just happened. We've got 2 games, back-to-back wins for the first time under Ruben Amorim. First team in over a year to win at Anfield. And really, you just got to look at it and say, yes, it's a tough game, but everyone should be confident that they will be able to turn over Brighton. Brighton side, which will leave themselves open at the back because they will try and come through the middle. So for me, yes, it's a tough game, but a game the Mood United are in, that they should be able to overcome and just do Brighton.
Yeah, it's just that, a lot of fans out there, we've seen it for a while now, the mentality of this squad and, that from being up there on such a high now after the win at Anfield, you just want and hope that the players have now refocused this week and they're not sort of like riding that wave of the hysteria and also the confidence amongst the fan base so they don't underestimate Brighton. So they think, well, we turned up at Anfield, we're beaten, we got the 3 points, so on Saturday it'll be easier.
No, listen, they refocused straight away.
Yeah.
They refocused within an hour when they were being interviewed at Anfield, saying, yes, we can enjoy this, but we've got to focus. Harry Maguire was talking like the proper professional, what he is. He's turned everything round, but he knows how to talk, and he spoke and he said, no, we've got Brighton on Saturday. And that was an hour, less than an hour after the game. Amorim was the same. And then there was other players. They already knew. They were already talking and looking forward and working towards the game on Saturday against Brighton because they know winning at Anfield means nothing if they can't go and do it the following week. And they know week after week how tough it is. So they're focused. I've no worries about this team being focused on the game against Brighton.
Genghis Khan says, tonight I'm an honorary Frankfurt fan. Fred Cranhams has gifted 5 memberships.
Top man, Fred.
Fred the Red, the legend. 5 people who've been gifted their memberships. A big thank you to Fred. You just touched on Harry Maguire. I've seen a lot of reports over the last 48 hours, which you probably expect with his winner at Anfield. I'm sure you've seen the same reports that they are in sort of discussions, Manchester United and Maguire's camp, about extending his deal. What do you think to that?
Well, there's been reports on and off now for a little bit with Harry Maguire. Extending his contract and that, but I've turned round and I'm going to stick with it. Harry Maguire, I think at the end of the season, I think they'll move him on. I think it's time to bring in a really good centre half now, and that I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to get carried away by Harry Maguire scoring the goal. Listen, we all got carried away when he put in that cross at Bilbao. Remember that one?
Ryan Giggs pulling it back, wasn't he? There, twisting it down.
He'd done the Ryan Giggs prop. And then he's also scored here at Old Trafford against Lyon. Do you know what I mean? So, listen.
Leicester late on in the Cup as well here at Old Trafford in the February. I mean, if you pull it back over the last 18 months or so, going back to Erik ten Hag, he has popped up with goals. And, you get into that sense now where Harry Maguire's, more important in the opposition's box than in his own box. I mean, with some of the stuff that he's doing.
No, you look at him. Listen, he's had some really good top moments. There's no two ways about it. But then I just used the game at Liverpool. He was up there, putting his head there. He was also at the back and he was the man alongside Dele in that middle who was solid. He did. There's none of that still he turns around or anything like that, because that game suited him, because he wasn't asked to go further forward. When Harry's there and he's stuck in that position, he put in a sterling performance. And when the pressure was on, after we went 2-1 up, he was there again, time after time, putting the head on the ball. But that position and the way United played, low block, suited Harry Maguire. But going forward, I think United have to look to the future. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it depends as well what funds are going to be available in the transfer budget. I mean, still quite a lot of games still to be played, points to play for. So I think a big factor on it possibly could be whether we finish in the European places for next season. If we don't finish in the European places, will that lower the transfer budget? You would expect that. So they won't be able to maybe go out there and get a new centre-half to play in that back three. So his contract might be extended. Who knows? But
Listen, when it comes to money, contracts and all that, we was all had over this summer. There's no money, right? That's what we was told, right? We get these stories from the media and everybody else and that, right? And we just get fed garbage. So we had no money, but look who we bought. Look how much money we spent. Now, when you talk about Harry Maguire, right? He's there. We will get a centre-half. I believe that we needed a centre-half this summer, but we didn't get it. We also needed a midfield player. Now, I just look at it and think to myself, yes, Harry, your time's up. United have to look forward to the future. But listen, Harry Maguire himself says he has to manage his own body. It's not the same anymore. He's not the same player. So what will he be like the following season when we are in Europe, if we achieve that mark?
Richard says, I'd go all out for Gay from Crystal Palace. Looks a player that could do a perfect job for us. And Young, I mean, was he close to joining Liverpool in the summer? You'd expect them to go back in for him. I'm not too sure, but I don't think it was much of a huge price tag that was actually put on him, or the transfer, what was actually going to get done at one point, to be fair. So
for me,
yeah, I would agree that it's a possible option, but
yeah, listen, he's a decent centre-half. There's no two ways about it, but there's lots of decent centre-halves. So when it comes down to the summer and the transfer market, there'll be options, and United will be looking at these options. And you just got to look at this summer's who they brought in, all excellent. So you cannot knock the recruitment, what's gone on. So I'm thinking they're already looking. They're looking at a midfield player. They're looking at a centre-half, definitely.
Yeah, a few more people getting involved in that, to be honest with you. Mentioning Gay's name from Crystal Palace, and, let's see what happens. Is it too early in the January transfer window to recruit any more players in, or will Manchester United put a full focus on next summer's transfer window and boost that squad up even further? Just to go back on what we mentioned earlier on, whether Lammens was the most important signing under Amorim right now, I think what I'd turn around and say is, what a transfer window it was from United. When you're looking at these players they've actually brought in, you mentioned Cunha before, wants to play for United, sees it as a privilege, and I look at all of them and I think, what a change in attitude, what a change in culture, and that's something we desperately needed as well.
Yeah, I think it's looking like a really excellent summer transfer window. Now everyone's settled in. That's how it is. And if you talk about players settling in, they haven't settled in at Liverpool. They're on a bit of a rocky road, but United have now settled in. We've had our rocky road. That's how I see it. That's how, well, I'm hoping we've seen the back of some terrible displays and that everyone's settled in now. But I believe that, but the fan base believes that as well. And it's their eye test. It's what they see. And things have changed. So 8 games we've played. We've got a lot more football to play. Another 30 games in the league. So for me, I think United are going to kick on.
Rob Taft says, thanks for the service, Harry, but we need a prime centre-back in the summer.
Yes.
Stephanie thinks that Harry Maguire is a hybrid centre-back come centre-forward. And like I say, with his threat that he does actually pose now in the box, I mean, it is something that we actually can utilise if needed. I mean, let's hope we don't see it more often. But It's always there if we need it, especially from corners, throw-ins these days. I mean, you're looking at teams out there now in the Premier League who are utilising throw-ins even more. Get Harry Maguire up there. He will cause chaos in the box.
Look, he's having a purple patch, Harry Maguire, okay?
Come on, give him his flowers.
Well, where did he get the name Slabhead from? He got the name Slabhead because he couldn't score with his head.
Did you see Bruno saying that to him at Anfield?
I'm just telling you, all right? He's having a purple patch. And I, for one, right, I admire how he's come back, but I also know the realities, okay? Okay, I know the past performances. I know the open goals and everything. He's having a purple patch, and it's great for Harry Maguire. It's great for us all, and it's great that we can back a player who just
has turned it round.
Who has turned it round. So for me, it's a purple patch. May it continue for the rest of the season. But he's getting older, okay, and we need fresh blood, good fresh blood. That's how I see it. And sometimes sentiment. You can't have sentiment. Not in football. Cut, bang, move on. That's what you do. That's what Fergie used to do.
Yeah, I think you bang on with that, to be honest with you, the way you put that. Mark, Man United has become a member. Welcome to our members club, mate.
Thank you.
And on that note, I'd just like to thank you all for joining us today, getting involved with your own opinions on Senne Lammens. Do you think he's the most important signing so far under Ruben Amorim? Also, get your thoughts in on Harry Maguire as well. Would you extend Maguire's contract past this current season? Let us know all that in the comment section. Smash that like, as we're going to win on Saturday, aren't we, Reds? And make it 3 in a row. We'll be back tomorrow. Get that notification on. Come and join us, and we'll all have another Manchester United chat. You take care and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.